Welcome everybody to this week's episode of Ant on Music. I am your humble host Ant, and this week we're going to take a look at a bunch of new releases, re-releases, colored vinyl, stuff like that, and of course, I bought the bundle. All right, I didn't buy the box set on one album, which we're going to show you, but I did buy the bundle. So, hope everyone's having a great week. Thank the new viewers that have signed up. Always love new subscribers. If you haven't yet, please do so. Love the casual viewers, the guys that come in, week out, don't subscribe. I'd like you more if you subscribe, but it is what it is, as they say. So, what's going on with everyone? I hope everyone had a great Halloween, and we're wrapping up Rocktober pretty much. I think I've gathered all my Rocktober releases that I wanted to purchase. There are a couple of things still floating out there in independent record land that I got to get a hold of. So, what do we got this week? Really wasn't a theme this week, but it turned out that, looking at stuff, a lot of black and white album covers this week. But what are we going to start off with? We're going to start off with one of my favorite bands. I don't think they get enough credit for what they do. Talking about The Cult, and this is a re-release of an album they put out back, I believe, in 2007. It's called Choice of Weapon, and it has got some fantastic songs on it and a cracking rhythm section of Wise and Tempesta. And this is a very cool tip-on album jacket. It is a gatefold, and it is colored vinyl as well. I'll show you the back of that. And this was just re-released. I apologize for the glare. It is a very shiny album cover. And, of course, it continues on with the Native American theme that is so often seen in lots of the works of The Cult, including a song called The Pale Horse on the album. And show the vinyl first and the sleeves as well. So we got the band there. We've got Duffy and Asbury with one of my Bronx boys, John Tempesta, famous for being in White Zombie as well. And Chris Wise on the bass guitar. And this is a 2 LP set on some really funky looking colored vinyl. Two different vinyl colors on each. And it's one of the stronger albums in the Cult's catalog. And I do really love this album. I was glad that I finally got it on vinyl. I've had the CD since the day it was released, and obviously, like a lot of people, since then I've gotten back into vinyl. This is, like I said, very funky, two-tone albums. And what's on here, right? It starts off with Honey from a Knife, which is a great song. The band really pushes Ian Astbury to almost to the point of breaking on the song. But the rhythm section is so rock solid, it allows Duffy and Astbury to soar above. And I think Billy Duffy's one of those really underrated guitar heroes out there. Then we get Elemental Light, which is a great tune. And following that up with The Wolf, where Billy Duffy almost like reworks, what is it? I believe it's She Sells Sanctuary, reworks that a little bit on there. Then you get Life is Greater Than Death. For the Animals, which was the first single back then, very cool tune, very driving. Amnesia, Wilderness Now, Lucifer, which starts off with synths, but it really starts chugging along. The aforementioned The Pale Horse, This Night in the City Forever, Every Man and Every Woman is a Star, Embers, Until the Light Takes Us, and Siberia. So, very cool. Glad to finally have this in vinyl in my collection. Choice of Weapon. All right, so you may want to check that out if you've never listened to it. Another re-release. This was really, I'll be honest with you, this was kind of one that was tough to come by. Reason being is their stuff hasn't been put out on vinyl in a very long time. And this is the debut album of Danzig. All right. Album goes back all the way to 88, the Rick Rubin produced album. And of course, I have a story about Danzig, all right, at this time period. We'll take a look at the album. We'll talk about the track listing and time I dealt with Glenn and company, mostly Glenn. Show you the interior of this gate. And this is from Deaf American UME, the re-release. And so, back in the day, all right, there's your lyrics and liner notes there. And it is basic black, so I'm not going to bother pulling it out just to show you that. But we'll talk about the track listing. It kicks off really strong with Twist of Cain, then goes into Not of This World, which is another good tune, She Rides, Soul on Fire, Am I Demon, which is a fantastic tune, and then the big hit, Mother, Possession, End of Time, The Hunter, and Evil Thing. And so on this album, you get Glenn Danzig, Eerie Von, John Christ, and Chuck Biscuits, who also was in Megadeth at one point, on drums. And with this album, it was very, like a very heavy blues album. Kind of broke away from what he had done with Samhain or Samhain, however you want to pronounce it, and the Misfits. It wasn't as punky, more really really dark, heavy music as opposed to the punk output of the Misfits. Now, back in my club days, when I was working as a club DJ, Danzig came in on their first tour for this album. And holy crap, Glenn Danzig was just driving the poor sound guys absolutely friggin' nuts. I think they did sound check for like 3 hours. And, they kept telling him, it's going to sound different when there's people in the club. It's going to sound different when people are in the club. And they actually delayed opening the club because he was still sound checking. What a pain in the ass. I feel bad for Pete and Bruce, who are the sound guys at the club that I used to work in, Streets in New Rochelle. Shout out to those guys. Believe Pete's still around, but Bruce may not be with us anymore. But, man, I remember them going bananas trying to convince Glenn Danzig that the sound was good in the club and they knew what they were doing. And they did know what they were doing because, Bruce worked with Deep Purple, so I'm sure he had a freaking clue. Anyhow, we'll keep it moving. Now we get twofer. All right, we get a twofer here. Continuing along with this, heavier end of stuff. Back in the 80s, you had a lot of stuff like the Cult, where they cross over from like a new wave sort of place to a more, rock, guitar-based type of sound, like with Electric, from Love to Electric, and then, of course, the phenomenal Sonic Temple. You had other bands that were mining in a different avenue as well. Lots of heavy synths, lots of sampling, and then over the top, like thrashing, thrash type guitars, distorted vocals. This was before 9 Inch Nails was really a big thing. And, they kind of, a lot of ways, I hear a lot of what Rob Zombie did, not only in White Zombie, but further on, even more so in his solo career. You had kind of a band that's didn't reach the height of popularity of Nin or White Zombie, Rob Zombie. Talking about Chicago's Ministry. And this is a Rocktober release. Let me try and get my big fat fingers out of the way so I can show you that hype sticker. And this was 2 albums that they released for Rocktober on the same day. And I absolutely love both of these albums. The first one is called Ministry, The Mind is a Terrible Thing to Taste. And you have the front and back there. And the cool thing about this is that they included bonus tracks on this, which had not been released on vinyl. And they have this insert here. Get all the track listings, and you get the personnel on the album, and it tells you where they were at as a band. Basically, it was Barker and Jorgensen, Uncle Al, at the helm of Ministry, and like I said, 2 album set, basic black, nothing to see there. But this album was just it just killed. It really took thrashing guitars and married it to synths and sampling, and it was just incredible. It kicks off with the Pummeling Thieves, which is great. Then you get Burning Inside with another good tune, Never Believe, Cannibal Song, Breathe, and So What. Then you get Test, which is really cool. Faith Collapsing, and Dream Song. Then side 4, you get the bonus tracks, which is Burning Inside, the 12-inch remix, Thieves, the 12-inch remix, and Smothered Hope. And very cool, very, very cool album. Glad to have it on vinyl. Once again, had it on CD since it was released. And they were really at the forefront of a lot of the industrial music that came out. They're a huge influence on basically everyone that's come after them that is in this vein of music. And Ministry as a whole, I mean, they had so many side projects with Revolting Cocks and Pigface and all these other bands that came to be out of the Ministry stable, I guess you could say. And they put out another one. All right. And this album, depending upon what you know about it, it has 3 different titles. You got Kianzo, which is one, Psalm 69, or, as it's also known, The Way to Succeed and The Way to Suck Eggs. Talking about Psalm 69 from Ministry. And get Gibby Haynes on vocals on one track, which they, if you read the liner notes here, they tell you the whole ordeal with Gibby and how much it was a difficulty in getting him recorded for vocally over getting Chris Connolly, the regular vocalist, to do the vocals, and he kind of hit it out of the park first go round. And Bill Riffler on drums, just absolutely amazing. Louis Svitek on guitar. Just a killer band, but they were on the way of basically tearing the band apart at this point because they were all fighting, couldn't get along. They'd blown a majority of the money that they used on the budget, the $750K they were given up front. They kind of blew that on drugs, such as it is. But apparently they had a good time doing it. The album kicks off with NWO, New World Order, great samples in there. Then you get Just One Fix, which is absolutely killer. TV2, Hero. Then Jesus Built My Hot Rod. If you don't like that song, there's something wrong with you. Scarecrow, which is very cool. The title track. Then you get Corrosion and Grace, which are like these. Basically, they needed to finish off the album. And they're almost like sound experiments more than anything else. Then we get bonus tracks. We get 3, TV song, and then Jesus Built My Hot Rod. The short Pusillanimous, so they can fit more commercials on the radio edit. Then you get Effed. I'm not going to say fucked, but it's Effed. Just One Fix. Then on side 4, New World Order, the extended dance mix. Quick Fix, Just One Fix remix. And the Jesus Built My Hot Line, Red Line, White Line version. So once again, to have it on vinyl, excellent. To get the bonus tracks on vinyl, even better. So you have that. Now we got our 50th anniversary edition album for this week. I didn't get the box set. You know why? Because it costs too effing much. Gene Simmons is out of his ever-loving mind. The Kiss box sets, I mean, for what you get and what they charge, it's like insane. I think the price tag on the Kiss Dress to Kill 50th anniversary box set is $400. Is it really worth it? At this point, I don't think so. Who knows? Maybe Santa will be good to me. But keeping in line with all the other stuff that I've gotten from them recently, I did get the premium bundle from Kiss Online. And this album just comes out, a week or so after Ace Frehley has passed. Dress to Kill, if you know the story of the album cover, Gene had to borrow a suit, and that's why it's so ill-fitting. We'll have to say that the other guys look much sharper and much more dressed to kill. And Gene, I guess, is dressed to scratch his balls there, so that's that. And, this is a pretty cool Kiss album, early Kiss album. It is a premium color. And we do get this very nice live photo of the band in the living, steaming color right there. Try and get that for you to see. Very glossy, very shiny, very reflective. So you get that. And it is on a premium color. The jacket is embossed. And, of course, gold foil. It's gold! And We even get gold labels on this record. So we get that very cool ghostly gold and black with a little clear mixed in there, which is a little different than the previous two just gold releases of the earlier catalog. And as far as the track listing goes, if you don't know, we've got Room Service, we've got Two Timer, Ladies in Waiting, Rock Bottom, which is a great tune, Come On and Love Me, another one that's really fantastic, Anything From My Baby, She, which is a fantastic tune, Love Her All I Can, and the concert classic, the one that's always played, Rock and Roll All Night and Party Every Day. And speaking of that, I did mention I bought the bundle, right? So I bought the bundle. Well, what did the bundle include this time? Well, usually it's a long sleeve t-shirt. I guess it's getting a wee bit cold, and I'm glad, because how many white long sleeve t-shirts can I have with Kiss and makeup on it? So we bought the bundle, all right? We're going to look at this together. This very nice embroidered Kiss sweatshirt, which is perfect for this time of year. If you live where I live here in the Northeast of the United States, we'll take a look at this. So, what does this hoodie look like? So we got Kiss there in Japanese, or who knows, maybe it says soup. It's always been an ongoing joke. The sleeves, all right. Obviously that's Japanese. And what does the other sleeve have here? That's good. Now both sleeves are in Japanese, and then down here we've got, it says Kiss, Dressed to Kill since 1975. Cool little patch. Let me bring that up to the camera so you can see it. And then the back, the boys in the band, Dressed to Kill. Very cool. So this is the, they say this, I believe, the Rock and Roll All Night sweatshirt, or whatever they're promoting it as on the website. So if you want to get one of these, you got to buy the bundle from Kiss Online. Gene's got to make his money always. So that's just about everything I have for you. I do want to show you one last thing. It's not new, but because we talked about some industrial music, and this is one, if you can find it, it's very cool. This is the black box. Even though it's not black, it is metal. And what is in the black box? Really cool stuff. This is Wax Trax first 13 years, right? And I have everything from the original album, and I'm sure I have it somewhere. I mean, from the original release, because this is the original release. You can tell the patina that's built up on this over the years. Get a couple of coasters. Get a patch, Wax Trax patch. And this is the Wax Trax record label, which was out of Chicago and was, you know, the main place to get like this industrial type music, like KMFDM and also stuff. I even have the original postcard that was in here to be sent to the record company. And they have a booklet, and like I said, if you dig Ministry, Revolting Cocks, KMFDM, all that stuff, this is a great place to get it. You get Front 242, you know, all sorts of neat stuff in here. And it's a compilation of the first 13 years of the record label. And very, very heavy industrial stuff. Everything on it is blacked out, you know. And if you want the information on it, you have to actually look in the booklet as to what's on there. And they even have this little fold-out poster of the label. We'll show you that. And that's where you get stuff like Steers, Beers, and Queers, and 1000 Homo DJs with Trent Reznor on vocals, which is the 1000 Homo DJs, which is another Al Jorgensen project, I guess you could say. And one of the cool things they had in here, I never did this, they included actual cassette tape. And they said if you put it on a spool and run it through a cassette player, it'll actually play additional songs that are not listed. I never bothered because I was afraid of, you know, really messing up my tape players. You could tell it's not exactly in the greatest shape, but that's the way it came. It also came wrapped in very goth style and a fishnet type of stocking. And I'm sure that's what I started to talk about earlier. I'm sure that I have that somewhere stored away in my collection here in the house. But not going to go find it, dig it out just to show a piece of fishnet because that's how it came packaged. Very cool stuff. So that is everything I have for you guys this week. I hope you enjoyed the episode. I appreciate you coming back week in, week out, checking out the channel. Please, please, please comment, give some likes, thumbs up, what have you. Share it across other platforms if you dig what I do. Next week, we're going to get into The Who, all right? The final album with Keith Moon, Who Are You, all right? So we're going to check that out. That's going to be our big box set, some other stuff. I think we got another 50th anniversary release, Elton John's Captain Fantastic, and some other things. We'll see what we dig up. But that's everything I have for you this week. Thank you so much. Really do appreciate you. Until next time, peace, one love, music. I'm out.